Could somebody please make it make sense?
Hey everybody, welcome to A Pop of Culture. I'm your host, the Esoteric and Facetious, and this is A Pop of Culture, which is my video essay podcast where I speak on pop culture, social justice, and the human experience from a Black, bisexual, and layer perspective. Everything, and I mean everything I say, should be taken with a grain of salt, as I'm simply a recent college grad with access to a recording device and the internet. With that being said, my shouldn't be your source and critique my views unless it's truly relevant. If you disagree with anything I say, let's have a civil conversation in the comment section below. With that being said, I want to advertise my cover channel on Pop of Culture Sings, where I sing throwback R&B, contemporary R&B, pop music, whatever I'm feeling, whatever you're feeling. So if you want to be down like Brandy, I want to be down. If you're down with the click, and if you're not down with my click, then you just boo-boo on a stick. RP Aliyah, and definitely feel free to check that channel out. Today we are going to be doing a Q&A where I answer some questions. Some may be a little controversial. I just wanted to do a Q&A because I do a lot of commentary style videos where I give my thoughts on different topics. I wanted to do some Q&A videos where I share more about me. You get to learn a little bit more about the creator you're watching. So let me know how you like this video. Feel free to comment any questions you want me to answer in future Q&As. Let's get into it. And shout out to Davina yet again for being the first person to buy me a coffee. I appreciate it so much. I appreciate anyone who comes back to the channel, likes, comments, subscribes, shares. Everything is appreciated. Thank you all so much. Now let's get into the Q&A. So the first question I wrote down was, would I date an OnlyFans creator / S worker? So let's get into it. I do believe S work is real work. S work is valid. I don't think people should feel ashamed for doing S work, but would I date someone who is an S worker or an OnlyFans creator? That's kind of a difficult question for me, and here's why. I would say yes, but let's talk about it. Here's my reservation with dating an OnlyFans creator. Some OnlyFans creators work with other content creators. It's kind of like collabing on YouTube, where you're advertising yourself to their audience and they're advertising themselves to your audience. So with OnlyFans creators, a lot of OnlyFans creators collaborate so they can essentially exchange audiences and potentially both end up growing because of the collaboration. So let's say John is an OnlyFans creator, and let's say Jack is an OnlyFans creator. They may collaborate on some videos, some scenes, so that John's audience goes to Jack's page, and so that Jack's audience goes to John's page. Pretty much on any social media platform, collabs are a common way for people to grow, because if you do a collaboration with someone with a similar audience, there is a very high chance that both of y'all will grow and benefit from the collaboration. So here's the thing. When it comes to me and dating, I prefer monogamy. I prefer the person I'm with is the person I'm with. And so I'm not gonna lie, I do feel like there is a conflict of interest if I'm somebody who prefers monogamy and it's just me and you, and for you to grow your brand, you need to collaborate with a bunch of other people. And not only collaborate with them publicly. So let's say I was dating somebody and we're together, we're a couple, and that person, they do a lot of collaborations on OnlyFans. I'm not gonna lie, I might feel a way about the fact that this person is filming themselves with a bunch of different people and putting it online, because I prefer, if I'm with somebody, we are doing the do. We are together. We are intimate together. Like, it's just us two. I feel kind of uncomfortable with the person that I'm sleeping with, the person I'm intimate with, posting themselves to Twitter, sleeping with this person and that person, and this person. It's not to say that S work isn't work. It's not to say that S work isn't valid. But for me personally, I would not necessarily love the fact that our acts of intimacy are something you're doing with a bunch of other people, posting it online for everybody to see. This week you're sleeping with this person. Next week you're sleeping with that person. The next week you're sleeping with this person. I want that to be our thing. I would feel slightly uncomfortable because I want me and my partner's intimacy to be our private intimacy between us two. I don't think that being an OnlyFans creator and sleeping with multiple people for your job makes your intimacy with your partner any less valuable. But as someone who prefers monogamy, I personally would prefer to not be with someone who's sharing those intimate acts on online platforms for everybody to see. Here's my thing. As a content creator, I believe my content is good. I believe that my content and my brand will grow over time. Let's say I hit 100,000 subscribers. I mean, of course, I have a long way to go, but let's say I did hit 100,000 subscribers and I've got a solid audience, a solid fan base, getting opportunities outside of YouTube, sponsorships, etc. And people know me, people know my name. I just feel like I would hate to have done like, oh, this is my boyfriend or this is my girlfriend, do a little vlog, do a little tag, etc. or whatever, and then people are like, oh, a pop of culture, their boyfriend or their girlfriend is getting banged on Twitter. Go to this link, they're getting a train ran on them. Y'all check it out, look at that. I'd rather just be, this is my partner, we have our private intimacy, and that's our business. And I'm not saying that we couldn't have our private intimacy and they still be doing their stuff and that not work, but it's just not my preferred situation. Now, if they were doing solo stuff, pictures or artsy stuff, I feel like I'd care less about it, but it's just them doing stuff with other people and having it out there for everybody to see. Another thing I want to bring up is branding. I do want my brand to be clean as I grow on social media, and clean doesn't mean never speaks about sex or never says a bad word or never covers mature topics. What I mean by that is when you think about 𝘎𝙬𝙚𝙚, when you think about certain creators, there are certain creators that you think of as wholesome and family friendly, things like that. For example, 𝘎𝙬𝙚𝙚, she can do an ad with Google because her brand works with that. My brand on social media is pop culture, social justice, and the human experience from a Black millennial Gen Z perspective. And for me, I want to have as many opportunities as I can through this channel. I don't necessarily know that if I were to blow up on YouTube, I would want to be with somebody who is very known for OnlyFans work and known for being an adult content creator. I do think as a content creator that is something to consider, and I'm not saying I would say, oh, I don't want to date you because you are someone who's really known on OnlyFans, but I do think as someone who is a content creator, that is something to think about. What do I want my brand to look like? For example, do you think 𝘎𝑪 Washington would want to marry somebody who is known as one of the most popular escorts? The funny thing though is I feel like if I was dating someone who's an escort, I feel like I would honestly mind that less, because if during the day they go out to their people, they get paid, I feel like since that's out of sight, out of mind, I'd care less about that than I'd care about somebody doing OnlyFans stuff, because if they're promoting stuff on OnlyFans on Twitter, that kind of impacts how people see me as their partner, because they're just like, wow, a pop of culture, his bae is just, you know, sleeping with all these people, like, wow. And I'm not saying outside perspectives would impact how I feel about my partner in our relationship, but I do prefer just that private monogamy. I'm not saying it can never work, but I'm just saying those are things I would think about. Now, would I do OnlyFans with a partner if I was dating somebody? Would I do OnlyFans? For me personally, going back to the whole brand conversation, I don't think OnlyFans is compatible with my brand and like where I'm trying to take my brand. And I'm also just somebody, I'd rather just have that side of me be private. I don't want that to be tied to my brand. And I'm not casting judgment on people who do OnlyFans, because S work is valid, but I just wouldn't want that tied to my brand as a pop culture commentator. Question 2, and I wrote all these questions. Do I like my natural hair? I wanted to bring this up because as a Black man, as a Black person, I have a lot of feelings about my hair, my natural hair, and I wanted to open the conversation up to see how y'all feel about your hair. Do I like my natural hair? Yes, I like my natural hair, but honestly, my natural hair is just kind of hard to work with. Like, it's not hard to work with, but it's hard finding products that work for my hair, because my hair doesn't retain a lot of moisture. If I don't use the right products, it can look like I did nothing to my hair. It can look like I just rolled out of bed. So I'm somebody who always wants to look presentable, look put together. So I like my hair. My hair is pretty curly, but I just hate sometimes how certain products just don't do what I need them to do. But like natural hair YouTubers, sometimes I just feel like some of the wash and goes that people do, all the products they use, it just is so much and it's just so intense. And I feel like sometimes doing all that can overload your hair and it can just be too much. I like my natural hair, but sometimes it's a lot to deal with. That's something that people don't talk about when they talk about natural hair. When my hair was shorter, because my hair is curly, so it looks shorter than it actually is, like that shrinkage. Like if I picked my hair out, my hair is kind of an afro, but it's condensed because it's curly. So when my hair was shorter, I feel a lot of the YouTube tutorials were just so easy. I used that Cantu coconut cream. I used some Ampro style gel. Like I used like very basic, inexpensive products, and they work. The longer my hair has gotten, the more complex it has gotten. My hair, I feel like it worked more with me when it was shorter. So I like my natural hair, but it's a lot to work with, because I just feel like my natural hair just hates certain products. And some of those wash and goes, I just feel like there's a lot of guesswork as to what formulas will work and what formulas won't work. I have been using the Cream of Nature line, and they have a shampoo, a conditioner, and they have a hair butter, and that one seems to be doing well. But honestly, my natural hair has been a journey, and if anyone is growing their natural hair out and you're not sure what products work best for you and you're still figuring things out, I am with you. And if y'all have any product recommendations, let me know. Let me know how y'all feel about your natural hair. Question number 3 is, would I date an HIV positive person? I chose to include this question because I feel there's a lot of stigma with HIV within the Black LGBT community, so I wanted to have a question like this, so we talk about it. So I am not HIV positive, I'm HIV negative. And would I date an HIV positive person? Yes. I feel it's dumb to exclude HIV positive people when you're considering people to date, because one, as long as they're taking their medication, there's no way you can get HIV. And two, a lot of Black queer men have HIV. I believe the CDC says by a certain year, 1 in every 2 Black queer men will have HIV. So I just feel like for me, as a Black bi man, I'm very comfortable with the prospect of dating somebody who's HIV positive. Because there's a substantial number of people in the community who are positive, I don't want to just write off all those people. Honestly, if anyone wants to do a panel or talk about HIV and stigma within the LGBT community, let me know. I would love to do a video on stuff like that. For me, I do feel when I was younger, I was a lot more fearful of HIV. It is a serious thing, and it's something to be concerned about, especially if you are a member of the LGBT community. But for me, right now, I'm somebody where I'm always going to protect myself, so I don't really feel the need to worry about it. I feel initially when you hear about the HIV/AIDS epidemic, where everybody was dying, where people didn't know how people were getting it, when you hear about all of that, it can make it very scary, and I do think HIV is a topic that's very serious that we should be concerned about. It's a scary thing to hear about Black queer people in general, dying from something in massive numbers. Young people who are otherwise healthy. That is something very scary, and it's something to be concerned about. But I think for me, in the day and age where we have PrEP, where there are multiple ways to protect yourself, I don't really fear HIV. In the past, I feel like that fear of HIV would have made me scared to date somebody who's HIV positive, but now understanding U equals U or undetectable equals untransmittable, I'm a lot less scared to date or interact with HIV positive people, because I understand just because I'm with somebody who's HIV positive doesn't mean I'll become HIV positive. I'm not gonna lie, I do feel I would prefer to be with someone who's not HIV positive, because then a lot of this stuff that I have to consider I wouldn't have to worry about. That's not to say that I wouldn't date someone who's HIV positive, but it's just certain stuff I wouldn't have to worry about. If I meet somebody and I'm very interested in them and they happen to be HIV positive, I'm still gonna date them, I'm still gonna pursue them. Them being HIV positive is not gonna stop me from wanting to be with them. How do y'all feel? Would y'all date somebody who's HIV positive? If you are HIV positive and feel comfortable discussing with us in the comment section, how has becoming HIV positive impacted your dating life? Do people lose interest when you disclose your status to them? Are people like me where they don't care as long as y'all are transparent and as long as you're remaining undetectable? Okay, question number 4, the last person I unsubscribed from. I did write this question, but I wrote this question before all the drama stuff happened. The last person I unsubscribed from was 𝘎𝙞𝙣𝙠𝙗𝙗. So the last person I subscribed to was top RuPaul Drag Race videos. If you watch Drag Race, definitely check their channel out, because they call out all the BS when it comes to editing, when it comes to the producers manipulating stuff. I just love their channel. Honestly, their channel makes Drag Race much more fun to watch. Drag Race is pretty produced. They are always saving people from the bottom who need to be in the bottom. They're giving people wins who don't deserve the wins. And if you're watching season 14, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Definitely check their channel out if you watch Drag Race. The most problematic YouTuber I follow. So this is another fun question. The most problematic YouTuber I follow is Tati Westbrook. And I'm just being real with y'all. I do like Tati's videos. I do engage with the beauty community on YouTube. I just think it's a fascinating part of YouTube to observe. There's just something about Tati's personality that I really like. I just like how she's just so direct and cutthroat when she doesn't like a product. She literally just did a concealer review where she compared 2 different drugstore concealers, and by the end of the video she basically said, I don't even like how either of these look. And for me that was just hilarious, because Tati's one of those people who's just gonna let you know how she feels on things, and I just live for that in a content creator, because I feel other content creators, they would try to make the product work, or they try to be like, oh well, if you do this and if you do that then maybe it'll work. But Tati, it was just like, no. Now I don't stand by Tati dropping the Bi Sister video. I think that was very shady of her, and I still feel like she did it because of the whole Sugar Bear hair drama. If you're not familiar with the Tati Westbrook drama, James Charles was at Coachella. Sugar Bear Hair gave him a security pass, or they did something to help him, so he shouted them out on his Instagram stories. Tati owns a vitamin brand called Halo Beauty, and apparently James had promoted it, but he didn't promote it that much because he has an audience of young people, so he felt there weren't that many people in his audience who would buy Halo Beauty, because Halo Beauty, a vitamin brand, is targeted towards older people. So when Tati saw that he shouted out Sugar Bear Hair for giving him the security pass or whatever they did, people feel that set her off, and that's what made her drop the 𝑭𝒐𝒍𝒍𝒐𝒘 video where she was basically doing a character assassination on James. And I do feel that was shady of her, especially considering she was like 38 at the time and he was around 19 years old. I felt that was wrong of her to do, but there is just something about her videos that I like. Me watching her videos isn't me co-signing her doing the 𝑭𝒐𝒍𝒍𝒐𝒘 video. I will say it is a complicated situation because more information has come out about James, so it is very debatable how much of what Tati said in 𝑭𝒐𝒍𝒍𝒐𝒘 was true. Do y'all have creators like that? You may not agree with certain things they've done in the past, but you find them entertaining, so you watch them. And you watching them is not an endorsement of their previous actions. Are there any creators y'all feel that way about, or do you think I'm wrong? Do you think I'm wrong for watching Tati even though I don't agree with 𝑭𝒐𝒍𝒍𝒐𝒘 and breaking my silence? Do you think that I'm a hypocrite for watching her while I'm critical of her actions? Let me know in the comment section below. Question 7. Would I date a religious person? If you're not aware, I am an atheist. I was raised up in the Black church, the Black Baptist church, was very involved in church leadership as a young person, but I have deconverted. I am not religious. So as an atheist, would I date a religious person? Maybe / possibly. The reason why I say yes is because a lot of Black people are religious. I'm somebody who would prefer to end up with a Black partner. If somebody comes into my life and they are amazing and they're great and we get along and they are not Black, then I'll still be with them. I'm not someone who's only gonna date Black people, but I am somebody who would love to be with a Black person, and a lot of Black people are religious. So because so many Black people are religious, I may come across somebody who would be a great partner to me and I a great partner to them, and the only thing is they're religious. So we're great partners for each other, but they just happen to be religious. I would be open to dating them, but I'm not gonna lie, I'd probably prefer to be with someone who's an atheist, just because relationships where people are of mixed faith, those relationships can be challenging at times. And when I have kids, I don't want to raise them up in religion. I don't want them to see themselves as these filthy sinners who have to repent to a God. I don't want them to fear God punishing them or placing his wrath on them. And if I'm with somebody who's religious, they may want the kid to go to Sunday school. They may want the kid to go to church every Sunday and to Bible study every Wednesday. So I think there would be a lot of friction. Now, if I truly love the person, I think we could find a middle ground of we're going to teach them about your religion, but we're also going to teach them there are some people who don't believe in religion, and that's okay too. I personally would prefer to be with another atheist because I want to be comfortable in my relationship, and I'm not going to lie, I do feel there would be some friction if my husband or my wife wants me to go to a church service every Sunday or every Sunday and Wednesday when I don't believe in it. If he or she, they want us both to be there for the kids, that would be annoying to me because it's like, I don't believe in this stuff, and I could be with someone who doesn't believe in this stuff. Like I said, if I truly love this person, then yeah, let's make it work. Let's teach the kids your religion, but let's also teach them that they don't have to believe the religion. Kind of like with the OnlyFans situation, it'd have to be a relationship where I truly believe in this and they truly believe in it. If you're religious, would you date an atheist? If you're atheist, would you date a religious person? I would do it, but it would just have to be a situation where we both have an understanding of what we want and we both are willing to compromise on things. Who is my most problematic fave when it comes to celebrities? I would say my most problematic fave would probably be Christina Aguilera. I'm going to do a stand video where I talk about all of the artists I've stanned, and Christina is one of the main artists that I live for. She is so talented, and I just love the passion that she sings with, and I would love to see her live. I'd love to meet her, but a lot of people in the industry say that she's a diva, that she's full of herself, that her getting the Best New Artist Grammy over Britney Spears at such a young age fueled her ego and made her think that she was all that in a bag of chips. There was an incident where Mary J. Blige said Christina put her hand up for her to kiss. A lot of people have just said that Christina is kind of a diva. So I would say she's my most problematic fave when it comes to celebrities. And I'm not gonna lie, I low-key feel like what people are saying is true. But at the same time, I don't think that Christina having an ego when she was younger means that she's always been a bad person, that she'll always be a bad person. I feel anybody who gets fame at a young age, fame and money at a young age, can easily become arrogant or full of themselves. But I think life in general has ways to humble us. I'm sure that Christina, having been a mother, having had ups and downs in her career, I think all of those things probably have humbled her where she is not somebody who is a diva. Who knows, maybe I'll meet her and I'll not have a positive experience. They say to never meet your heroes or never meet your idols, so if I got the opportunity, I would love to meet Christina, but I would hate it if I've been listening to her albums, listening to her songs all these years, admiring her all these years, and she turned out to be a very rude person. Even though the chance of me meeting Christina anytime soon is not that big, I do think about that, and I'm like, Would I really want to meet you? I love you down, but would I want to meet you? I do not know. Do y'all like Christina Aguilera? Who is your problematic fave? Do you think she's a diva? One thing I will say, not to get on my soapbox, but I do think women in the industry do get the label of diva a lot more frequently. No shade, I do live for Usher. He can sing his butt off. He is an inspiration to me as a singer, especially as a male R&B singer. But Usher said a lot of shady stuff, and I feel like Usher is never called a diva or a divo. Like Usher, I remember he basically did this selfie video where he was talking about his haircut, and he was like, y'all, my barber effed me up. Like, this is not it. I'm not happy about it. He told T-Pain, you kind of ruined music. So for me, I feel like I do believe some of the stuff that people say about Christina, but I do feel like women are more likely to be labeled divas or hard to work with in comparison to men. Next question. Do I believe in an afterlife? Honestly, no. I don't believe in an afterlife. I think the only life we have is this life right here. Now, if an afterlife exists, I'm happy. That's great. I don't want to die. I would love to live forever, but I'm personally not convinced that an afterlife exists. Now, if you do, that's fine. That's great for you. I don't know. Like, I feel like there's too many horrific things going on in this world for there to be an afterlife. I just can't see all of the atrocities and horrific things happening in the world and there being an afterlife. And sometimes I honestly ask myself the question, would I even want an afterlife? While I do think it would be great to live forever, exist forever, there is some comfort in knowing, okay, one day it's all gonna be over. And what I mean by that is just like an afterlife just seems like more work. Like, I don't know. I think there is something peaceful about somebody passing away at like 99 years old and being a grandparent, being a wife or being a husband, being a grandparent. There's something very peaceful about living a full life and then passing on. I'm just gonna say, if there was an afterlife, I don't know that I'd want to exist for centuries and centuries and centuries. I do think there's something peaceful about there being an end to human life, that there's a journey and that journey sometime comes to an end. But how do y'all feel about that? Because my thing is this, like, a life that never ends, that just always keeps going on, does that never seem boring to y'all? And I mean, of course you could pick up different hobbies and traits and do different things, but I don't know, something about an afterlife that never ends just seems like more work. Like, do we have a job in the afterlife? Because I don't know, like, I question certain things when it comes to an afterlife. I feel like permanent happiness isn't necessarily a realistic thing. And of course, there are different ideas of an afterlife. Would we even want that? Would you want a life where you're always happy all the time? I feel like part of the joy of life is happiness after experiencing sorrow, or happiness for that journey through the bad to the good. I feel like if everybody lived in this afterlife where everything was happy all the time, that would be boring to people, because I feel like conflict is a part of life, struggle is a part of life. I just really struggle to visualize an afterlife existing, because if you look at decomposition, if you look at the human body, your body decays, your body decomposes. I just question logically how an afterlife would exist. I guess it would require you believing in a soul and believing that that soul leaves the body when you pass away and goes to this afterlife. But I don't know, I just feel like there's just so many atrocities that happen in the world, so I just can't imagine there being this afterlife where everything is happy. I do think afterlives bring comfort to people, because there's this idea of, oh, well, if I die, I'm going somewhere. But for me, I find comfort in not believing in an afterlife, because I find that comfort in making each day count, making this universe, this existence, this reality our heaven. I can make every day my heaven by doing things that make me happy, interacting with people that make me happy, interacting with music and movies and TV shows that make me happy, doing hobbies that make me happy. I just feel like believing in an afterlife can be detrimental if you are expecting this happiness to come after you pass. This idea of, oh, well, it doesn't matter how this life is because I've got another life coming, an afterlife where everything's happy. Like I said, I don't disrespect people who believe in an afterlife, and I believe believing in an afterlife can bring comfort, but just for me, I think when we die, there's nothing that happens. We're just dead. We just start decomposing. Now, if there was an afterlife and I die and there's an afterlife and it's great and it's happy, then happy day, great, because then I get to have a great time at the afterlife. But with all the things that happen in the world, I just can't imagine there being this happy afterlife. There are children who are violated and murdered. Think about situations like 9/11 where innocent people perished. In a world where there are so many atrocities, I just can't imagine this perfect bubblegum, happy, peachy keen afterlife. But do y'all believe in an afterlife? How do y'all rationalize all those thoughts? How do you justify an afterlife existing? Why do you believe in an afterlife? And like I said, no disrespect to people who believe in an afterlife, but it's just I can't see one existing. And I'm not gonna lie, it sometimes is sad to think about, because if I don't believe in an afterlife, then certain people I know or people who I admire, like Aaliyah, if there is no afterlife, then they just perished and they didn't go anywhere. But even though that's sad, I also find comfort in that, because not existing in the world anymore is an absence of pain. Because people like Ali, who passed away, they're no longer in pain. They're no longer upset about situations that happen in the world. Aaliyah isn't out here dealing with gossip. She's not dealing with drama. She's not dealing with people being fake to her. She's no more. She is resting. Being dead and not existing, I don't know if it's resting. There was an end to her life, and now she is free from all of that. So I think that's the beauty in death, even though, of course, it's unfortunate that she didn't get to do all of these different things. There is a beauty in she is free from not being able to get sick anymore, not being able to be in pain anymore, not being able to suffer anymore. Death is very complicated and complex, and my views on this may evolve over time, but at this time I don't believe in an afterlife. Do I believe in conspiracy theories? No. I don't believe in conspiracy theories. I believe there are too many people in the world and there would always be a whistleblower. I don't believe in the Illuminati. I don't believe in the idea that 9/11 was planned. Now, of course, I feel like there are different ideas that go on with stuff like that. Some people may believe that they had knowledge that an attack was coming. I don't think that's the same thing as believing that it was planned and that the U.S. did it. I think that there may have been awareness of it. I don't believe that the U.S. planned the attack on the World Trade Center or anything like that. No, I believe that terrorists who were acting on their own accord did those horrific acts to people. I don't believe in conspiracy theories about crisis actors. I believe that national tragedies like 9/11, school shootings, I believe that those things happened. I don't believe that there are crisis actors. I don't believe that those events were planned. I don't believe in those celebrity death conspiracy theories. I honestly feel like those celebrity death conspiracy theories are disrespectful to the memory of those celebrities. I will say there are certain things in our world and in our life that do not make sense, but I don't think that conspiracy theories are always the answer. I sometimes think that things that don't make sense would make sense if we had the context. Here's my thing. There are certain situations that are very abnormal, like the Kenneka Jenkins situation or Kendrick Johnson situation, where Black youth died in an abnormal manner. And I do think those situations are weird and should be looked into. I mean, they have been looked into, but I do think those situations are weird, but I don't necessarily think they're part of this grand conspiracy to kill Black people. If I was provided with legitimate information, then maybe I would change my mind, but I feel like our world is a lot more simple than people make it out to be. I don't believe that there's a secret society that's running things. There are people, there are families who are wealthy who do control a lot of things that happen within the world, but I don't think that that's the secret conspiracy. I just think that's how things work. I'm not a big conspiracy theorist. I believe everything has a logical explanation, even if that explanation is illogical. I do think there are things that are suspicious. For example, if you've been following the 𝑭𝒂𝒂𝒂 situation, they found out that the head injury that he had is consistent with force that would exceed a simple fall. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I do think there is a logical explanation to what happened that might be abnormal. I don't think the Illuminati took him out, but he might have been interacting with someone who got violent with him, or someone may have tried to rob him or something. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I do think abnormal things happen. I think there is an explanation to how Bob passed away, may he rest in peace, but I don't think that it's this grand conspiracy. I don't think that he was an Illuminati sacrifice. So yeah, let me know if y'all believe in conspiracy theories, what got y'all into conspiracy theories, why you don't believe in conspiracy theories. I just think a lot of this stuff that people want to claim about celebrities being devil worshippers and this and that, it just doesn't make sense. Why did I decide to start YouTube? I decided to start YouTube because I saw the big moves that people are making on social media. I saw that you could make substantial income on social media. You could turn a YouTube channel into career opportunities, into a big social media platform, into entering the entertainment industry, and I wanted a slice of the pie. I saw creators like the Grapevine, 𝘎𝑪𝒐𝒍𝒍𝒐𝒘 𝑭𝒐𝒍𝒍𝒐𝒘 Trending Trend, even though you know how I feel about him now, Sky Santana, Jackie Aina, Funky Dineva. I saw so many content creators who looked like me and who reminded me of myself, and I wanted to be a part of that. I knew I had talent, I knew I had a unique perspective, I knew I could articulate myself clearly, I knew I could sing well, so I wanted to put myself out there. I started my channel during the pandemic, so I saw people like the D'Amelios, Addison, all these people having these life-changing experiences due to social media, so I wanted to put myself out there, and I still want to put myself out there because I believe my perspective matters. I believe that I bring value to YouTube. I believe my content is valuable and worthy of people engaging with it. So that's why I started YouTube. That's all the questions I have for now. Thanks so much for watching this Q&A. Let me know any thoughts you have, any feedback you have below, and any questions you have for future Q&As. Love y'all. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. Like this video if you like this video. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the points I made in the comments below. If you enjoyed this content, definitely like, comment, subscribe, and share. That way, even if YouTube isn't pushing my content, those who resonate with it are sharing it so it can connect with others who would enjoy it. Those are some easy, free ways to support a pop of culture. If you want to support this show financially, feel free to send a tip to my Cash App or buy me a cup of coffee, both are linked below. All who donate will be featured in the credits of my long-form commentary and cover videos. There are 2 playlists that are going to pop up, one where you can binge watch my covers and one where you can binge watch my commentary. Enjoy. Bye-bye.